shopping after a year and a half, and I thought I would take you guys with me. But before we get into that, it's important to tell you why I didn't shop for a year and a half and how I got to this point. So let's get into that first. It all started when I was born. No, I'm not here to give you my life story, at least not today. It all started in 2019 when I was in my second year of engineering and dropped out like a lot of Indians. Yes, I am the stereotype. Started my degree in fashion business. It was here that I was introduced to the term sustainable fashion. I'm sure most of you all have heard it by now, but I didn't know anything about it. I was introduced to the horrors of the fashion industry in terms of its contribution to the global warming crisis. Those of you that aren't aware, much like myself back then, fashion is now the third largest, most polluting industry. It contributes to 10% of our global greenhouse gas emissions, more than what the shipping and aviation industry emits combined. But I digress. I can go on and on about the negative impacts of the fashion industry on our environment, but that can be a video of itself. So naturally, after learning all this, I knew right away that I needed to make some changes. But the big question was how? How do you make an industry that is inherently unsustainable truly sustainable? For my research, I found out the answer is not that simple. In terms of materials, whether it's polyester, which does not biodegrade easily, even your natural fibers seems to be the obvious solution, but isn't really. Let's take cotton for example. Producing one cotton t-shirt takes an estimated 2,700 liters of water, which is enough to meet one person's drinking requirements for 2.5 years. So yes, the solution is not that simple. I honestly went down a rabbit hole during my research. I discovered brands that were genuinely trying to be sustainable, but also those that were merely pretending and engaging in what we call greenwashing. Greenwashing is nothing but when a company portrays itself to be environmentally friendly when all it's really doing is spreading misleading information or making superficial changes instead of actually implementing sustainable practices. I know this one particular fast fashion brand, they asked their consumers to donate their old clothes, which would then be recycled and produced into new pieces of clothing. Now, on paper, that sounds great, but there was no way to actually regulate this. And also, this brand was giving out discount vouchers to people who were donating clothes, which kind of defeats the purpose of it trying to be sustainable, because it's just encouraging and incentivizing its consumers to shop more. All of this was quite overwhelming for me, to say the least. Through trial and error throughout the years, one thing became more and more evident. The main culprit, the sweet byproduct of capitalism, was overconsumption. Overconsumption is the root of all evil. I don't know about you guys, but growing up, my sister and I, for us, shopping was like an occasional thing. It was a conscious decision we would take, whether it was your back to school shopping or your birthday shopping or your Diwali shopping. It was us consciously going to the shop or a mall and buying clothes for an occasion, and that was it. But now I feel like with all of these brands being so easily accessible, not just location wise, but even like online shopping, even social media has added to this whole overconsumption problem. Now you can just like sit in your office and like mindlessly scroll and just like add things to your cart that you probably don't need. And I'm not blaming anyone. All of these apps and websites are literally built to grab your attention, and they get you to buy these things that you don't really need. Everyone knows the joke. You talk about something and boom, the next day, or if not the same day, ads for it start showing up. It's just a very different environment, because earlier you would only shop while you were making the decision to shop, but now it's being thrown in our faces anytime we grab our phone. Move on to the year 2022. By this time, I was already living in Paris. I was in my final year. I made a New Year's resolution to only buy 15 items from fast fashion. Yes, this was a challenge, especially for a fashion student in Paris. quitting anything cold turkey has never worked out well for me. It was important for me to keep a manageable goal, which I could follow through. And would you believe it? I actually succeeded, and I only ended up buying 12 items from fast fashion that year. So come 2023, I was confident that I could go the entire year without buying anything. And as you can probably tell from the title, not only was I successful, but I also extended the challenge because it's now July and I still haven't bought anything. So yes, I will be breaking my no shopping streak in this video, and so I thought it'd be cool to just document it. But breaking my streak does not mean I'm gonna go back to my old patterns. I feel like I've become a much more conscious consumer now, which was always the goal. And not just in terms of fashion, but generally I've become a conscious consumer. For example, I now do not buy anything from Amazon at all. I think the last time I ordered from Amazon was 3 to 4 years ago. And I now buy everything from local shops and just don't feel the need to buy from Amazon. Having said that, I also acknowledge that I do live in a city where everything is easily accessible and available. So I do understand this is not possible for people living in more remote areas. I'd also just like to mention that the point of this video isn't to shame anyone into doing the same things that I have. I understand more than anyone that not everyone can care about every issue. People definitely have more important issues in their day-to-day life, like worrying about their bosses or just worrying about catching the local train in Mumbai without dying. My goal rather is to just encourage small changes. One thing I've noticed is people get a lot into like whataboutism. Someone will ask, oh, why aren't you shopping or why can't you shop? And I would tell them that I'm doing this challenge for myself. And they'd be like, oh, but what about like you doing blah 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 or you doing la la la? That's not very environmentally friendly. Nobody is perfect. I am not by any means even close to being perfect when it comes to leading a more like sustainable life. Do not let anyone make you feel that the small steps that you take towards making a change don't matter, because trust me, they do. People have a habit of just putting you down when you're trying to make a change. So yes, small changes matter. Whether that's you switching to a wooden toothbrush or using a cloth or a jute bag. If it's bringing your own cup to your cafe instead of using plastic or paper cups. Using a reusable water bottle or using metal straws in your drinks. Every small action adds up. Okay, so I've rambled on for quite a bit now, and yeah, like I said, I could go on and on about this topic. Without further ado, let's actually get into the fun part of the video where I go shopping after so long. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm just gonna head out now and go shopping after a year and a half. I have actually tried going before as well, and I just didn't end up buying anything because I didn't feel like it, but today I will. I thought I would just do like a quick outfit check thing. In light of today's video, I thought it would be fitting to wear a shirt that's thrifted. I got this shirt from my favorite thrift store in Paris, and I hate that I can't go there anymore, but yeah. This is by this brand Sisley, I don't know, and I got it for €1. So not only is thrifting saving the planet, but it's also saving your pocket. So yes, for my jewelry, I'm wearing this necklace by this brand called Justine Cloncquet. Really love their stuff, and just like these hoops. I honestly don't remember where I got these from, but like I wear these hoops almost every other day. And for my bag, this does not go with my outfit, but I have to carry a few things, so I need a big bag from Fola. Like, it's the perfect size. For my denims, I'll just show it to you. I'm wearing these like almost like 5-6-year-old Zara denims. I'm wearing my Yoda slippers, change into shoes, and it's raining outside as we speak, so that's going to be fun, because I thought I would take a rickshaw, but I think the universe had different plans for me today. Alright. I finally convinced my mom to buy a new pair of shoes because her old ones were falling apart. And here's another thing, Indian moms, they're just innately sustainable. They will hold on to things until they're completely worn out, even turning old clothes into your pochas. They really are the true queens of sustainability. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick little haul of everything I got. Most of them are just basics because they're kind of hard to find in your size when you're thrifting. I particularly loved this brown top because it reminds me of the Baby Yoda wearing Maison Margiela meme. But yeah, I love it. I just have to admit, I forgot how exhausting shopping can be because I kept having to sit down frequently like a grandma. Maybe it's just age catching up with me, or I don't know, I just can't expect to have the same energy as I did at 16. Also, I will be linking all the articles and papers that I've referenced in the video. I'll also include the link to this documentary that had a huge impact on me. It's called The True Cost. It came out in 2015, but I think it's still very relevant. I think most people in the fashion industry have watched it, and if not, like, you don't even have to care about fashion because ultimately you are wearing clothes, so I highly recommend watching it for everyone. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you very soon.